not EG's favorite point. It's probably one of their lowest win maps. Like, this is something they don't really want to do, but they're going to have to do it. But when we move forward through the bracket as well, in terms of the maps, I mean, EG did pick Ancient, which is going to be an interesting pick. And then if we have to, we're going to go to Inferno, which is also going to be an interesting one. And I actually like this map pool. I think this is not unique, but I'm for it.
Yeah, I think all three maps favor... I mean, I don't think it necessarily favors either team too much. On Ancient, Evil Geniuses have been picking into it quite often. Wildcard have tried picking into it a lot themselves, but honestly, I don't necessarily feel like their style lends itself to that map all that well. And then we have Inferno to decide, which I really hope that we can get to, because I love both of the T sides on both of these teams and the way they actually decide to play it out. And on CS2 with new Inferno as well, that would be so exciting. So hopefully we can get there, but it's going to be a B contact play to kickstart this best of three here, lads.
Yeah, flashes are going to come in as well. So now they're going to go and just barreling in, but George and Hex just able to put some big spells and locking this thing down. And now the dualies are trying to get something, but it's nothing at all. And you can just see EG. They've just mopped this up. They've cleaned up this execute, just leaving it down to Slight by himself. A 1-on-4. No bomb control. The bomb is in the middle of the site. This is terrifying. This is a bit of a horror film, and there we go. Evil Geniuses will prevail, only losing one casualty, but yeah, a really big hold and a bit of a difference here from Wildcard than what we saw earlier on.
Yeah, a little bit more of that contact play, and I do want to see just whether any of the defaults have been cleaned up in the matter of hours between the game against Forsaken and now against Evil Geniuses, because we did mention how contact heavy their style was, where they would take these raw aim duels and they would really struggle to win, especially with the hot hands that Forsaken had all throughout this afternoon. But as far as Evil Geniuses are concerned, they looked so good in that play. 4 members on that B bomb site, and I don't think they even had to break a sweat there with the amount of crossfires they had set up.
And this is a big difference in terms of the win percentage too. I mean, for Wildcard, this is about a 61% win rate, whereas for EG, this is about a 33%. But again, taking everything into consideration, the competition they're playing, all those factors, all those variables are really going to play a big part in this. But even now, look at what Wildcard have been able to do. They're pushing all the way through, leaving the bomb just on the other side of Monster. Now they're just going to bombard George, and the poor guy can't seem to buy a kill right now. He just gets neutralized. Flash is coming in. Hex needs to be able to mow them down, and it's going to be beautifully done with a triple, blocking it. Bomb just trying to get down for the money bonus if they can get it, but it ain't going to happen. EG again with a 4-player alive round.
I got actually really scary there. If they didn't have... one, either Hex didn't have head armor, or 2, he missed any of those shots, there is a world where they can just wrap onto that B bomb site, get the plant for free, and maybe make that very, very expensive and possibly even the round. So, unlikely situation there from Wildcard, and luckily Evil Geniuses make it out unscathed, and Junior gets his AWP with all that cash farm from Hex's SMG.
Yeah, this is going to be a moment for Hex, too. I mean, like you said with the SMGs, him and Walco, they might be able to find something. Wow, Junior just missing that shot. But, I mean, he gets a second life at this now, too, right? Tag down to 20. He's going to retreat this. Automatic playing just on the other side here of Connector. Oh, this timing can be everything, and he's able to find a double just like that, right out of the hat. And he gets away with it. And now Darty's able to get the trade at least, but the double stack from EG, it's just too much to mess with right now, Paladin.
Yeah, that's a dirty connector setup there. Automatic spray transferring with the FAMAS. I will say, from my limited noob testing, I feel as though spray transfers are difficult in this game. A little bit more difficult than it was in Go. But automatic makes it look so easy. And then to have that fallback plan with the double setup, as you said, with Walco, boosted up with the MP9. I mean, how do you really even prepare for that if you're Wildcard? Trying to exploit middle and you just get punished from a completely different part of the map.
And this is the big difference too, is I mean, the fact that EG, I mean, they're kind of staying true to their name, right? I mean, they are being creative on their setups, and I mean, that's something Wildcard didn't really have to worry about when they were playing Forsaken. I felt like with Forsaken, they were a little bit more to the standard default setup, but right now, EG 3 rounds in have already showed us about a bunch of different varieties of their play. And look at Brett now. He has to be able to find a bit of a tight position here in a crossfire. And EG are going to start things off now with a 3-0. And Wildcard, this money, it sucks, man. It's like sitting at that 3,000 range. It's not great. They need that bomb plant money.
Yeah, I mean, that buy round has been just quickly stuffed out in a matter of a couple seconds, really. And the max loss bonus will come through, so finance is not the worst in the world going into round number 5. But as far as round number 4 is concerned, they've got that single smoke, and here comes a single Molotov from Slight. But it's just going to be a barrage into middle, potentially trying to go at automatic yet again. And they'll try to straight duel him, and he only goes 1 for 1 this time. So no 2-piece for the vet, and a rifle recovered. Perhaps there's a little bit more legs to Wildcard in this one.
Yeah, that's definitely a good moment here, though. At least they didn't get doubled, and they can retrieve the M4. And the thing is, too, is they do have that armor, so the aim punch isn't going to be a big factor against them right now. But utility a lot lower right now for Evil Geniuses. George got a kill through the... All right, that's sweet. Okay, I was wondering if my eyes were deceiving me, but it looks like he does. Now they're going to be able to throw the smoke going into heaven. Boost going to come in, but the noise cue comes in. I think they might have saw that. No, they didn't, but Hex is able to get that trade. Flick of the wrist, and there we go. Down to a 2-on-3, and leaving it just down to Darty by himself here with the M4 and the bomb in hand. No more utility to work with.
Really like that boost up, and the punish from Hex was even better. 9-0 to actually start out these first 4 rounds of play. And looking to make it kill number 10 here onto Darty, but Darty still wants to do more damage here. Of course, all damage is good damage here. All those CT reinvestments will come back eventually if they can rack up a couple rounds. But nothing being offered up all just yet, but the IGL of Evil Geniuses trying to offer something up with his barrel being shown, but Hex gets that aforementioned kill number 10. And Evil Geniuses still find a way to just be pretty much clean all throughout these CT rounds. I don't really necessarily feel like they're being pushed all too much. Junior hasn't even had to really do anything this game. Hasn't died, hasn't fragged, and it still looks all peachy keen here.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of an issue, but that's okay. And I mean, George, like, I mean, in the beginning, he was not even really able to find anything too. I mean, he's sitting at a 2-3, right? But oh man, but I mean, the fact that even Hex is sitting at a 10-0, like, that's just mayhem. But at least we finally get to see that timeout coming through. I know Wildcard, they were a little bit slower on that in the earlier series that we had today, but at least now we're kind of at the 4-0 mark. This is going to be where the guns can come out. This is the conversation if Slight's going to opt, where we're still kind of waiting on it, Slight. Let me know. All right, we're going to keep waiting. But either way. All right, he's going to commit to the op. Thank you. Okay, I'm like, surely he's opping, is he not?
Well, he doesn't have anything else to back behind it, bar the vest. So 0-4 start for the star opera of Wildcard, and we're looking for a pop-off performance for him, because I'll remind you guys, we didn't get to see that in the Forsaken game, but when this guy is having a game, it is such a joy to watch him. Can single-handedly take over maps. But this time around, it's again another attempt at fighting for Con and short presence, and it gets ripped away by George and Walco, and there's Junior chiming in as well. So more aim duels throughout the map, and it just cannot go right for Wildcard. Another just unstoppable, flawless round here from EG.
Yeah, they're just winning these fights so convincingly, and I mean, they're not really getting punished for it either. I mean, they lose one player, and like I said, it seemed like it was George every time, but now it seems like Hex is going to be the one to take his first death here in this game, and 5-0, and Wildcard, they blunder it here a little bit, but now the money situation, again, not great, but they still have enough funds that they could force up some rifles and get a little bit of utility if they want to, which, Paladin, I don't know how you feel, but I'm thinking probably should happen.
Yeah, maybe, but perhaps something needs to change in this default. Like, I don't necessarily know. I mean, what did work previously or got near to working was the pace changes that they were able to find on the B bomb site. They weren't necessarily able to actually convert the round, but it did get them at least a plant. They've actually gone through all of this utility here, taken so much damage that Walco has free reign to fight, and then there's Hex to chime in from the barrels as well. So any chance at a pace change just gets completely neutered by the superior utility of EG. It just looks so clean in terms of their protocols.
Yeah, the CT side is just looking like a big barricade, and Wildcard can't, make any sort of a dent at all. And I mean, for EG, this is a good situation because we talked about this, like, the rounds are different now. And this is where they're already at a 6-0. They've already guaranteed themselves a tie if Wildcard can bring things back. But, I mean, at the rate they're going, I mean, this could be a possibility of a 10-2 or something. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're going to slow down here at all.
You need some just big individual heroics to maybe just dislodge a key player. Somebody like Automatic and Connector, or perhaps, a Hex on the B site. But so far, they've actually completely abandoned the Connector this time around. Junior and Automatic very willing to play a little bit more passive on the A site. And with that, Slight was going to go hunting, trying to offer himself up and get himself that opening 5v4 for his team, and he spots the head of Automatic. Perhaps another jump spot would come through, and somehow that nade from Freshy doesn't convert a frag. So unlucky situations out the gates for Wildcard as they can't scrounge together an opening kill.
Yeah, and even Junior is able to find that opener too. So now he's looking for a little bit more. Man, he's getting bloodthirsty right now, trying to see if he can find that triple. But instead, he's going to retreat back, play a little bit more disciplined. And this is what you love to see. This is what we were talking about with a high caliber team, a brand like this of EG, a little bit more disciplined, and they're not just going to go, running around and playing a DM. They're going to play a lot more composed, and a difficult situation here for Wildcard. Ready for the teammate to pop these nades, and this is a good amount of work that could come in. I believe that's going to be Cryptic, and he has the molly that's going to flush Automatic out, but he still is able to win that fight, looking for a second, and he does, leaving it all down to the support player by himself. And the vet's just going to lock things down with a triple.
That's just textbook there from Automatic. That's why he's been kept on this team for ages. Just so calm in that situation. Loses his opera behind him. I believe Junior was flashed, so he couldn't even tell that he was in the molly to begin with. But even with that molly burning out his teammate, still stands tall for the double. Asks for a flash behind him as well to decapitate the third. And EG, every single player lighting up the scoreboard and holding up their end of the bargain. And that's just made Wildcard's life a living nightmare at this point. Now you've got Automatic feeling confident, trying to take duels and Fountain as well. This is dangerous territory here for Wildcard.
Yeah, they're kind of treading on the same water that they were on earlier on today, struggling to get themselves a first round. And again, we're just seeing a lot of players from EG just pulling up some individual plays that are able to get those multi-kills, like you said. Hex 12-1, Automatic a 7-2, Walco 8-1. I mean, it's not like he's been really feeding the kill feed, but I mean, he's getting those, impactful kills he needs to. Well, what are we going to see differently from Wildcard? Because even the utility, it's got 2 smokes on Darty and Slight. So their options are a little bit more limited here. No Molotov to kind of, flush anybody out. So that's going to be even more of a difficult situation for these guys as well. But it's kind of looking like the name of the game could be this monster hit. Rushy might time this. He's going to run in, but he's just going to get a full face of lead here, and Walker will start things off again.
And now you're mollied off from potentially trying to trade your fallen comrade. That makes things even worse. 38 seconds left on the clock, and as you said, only 2 smokes and a singular flashbang to potentially dislodge the crossfire set up on this B site. Luckily for them, George is actually cheated over to the A bomb site, so there is a world where they can potentially grab an opening frag, but it's Hex to help out his teammate as well. Sure, Walco is low, but it doesn't matter. Clean sheet for Evil Geniuses still, even with only 2 players on that B site. And I'll give you a stat here. Wildcard are 0-17 in T-sided rounds on Overpass so far tonight.
Oh, no. And I was thinking, too, like EG, the fact that they're going to be, this wasn't their pick. I was like, look, they're going to need as many rounds as they can get on the CT side because their T side is, it's pretty weak. It's about a 37% win rate. Not their best, but like we said, I mean, the stats are kind of all over the place right now with a few variables to consider. But Wildcard, I think they're just going to send it, man. They're ready to go. The flashes are getting thrown to their teammate. I believe that's Brett. He's getting ready to go for the pop flash through Monster. They're getting desperate now. This is desperation at its finest, and you can see Hex. This might be a moment he can just clean it up, but oh my god, he's going to get just removed, and it's just going to be a little bit more exchanges here. The pistols are actually starting to sing just a little bit. Bomb could go down here for the money, and we're at a 2-2.
Yeah, Very winnable situation here. 1D not converted by Freshie, and that leaves Brett up in a 1v2, but he just tries to duel with Automatic and hope that he could come out on top, and it doesn't work out. It gets scrappy. They even get the instant headshot onto Hexton Barrels. You think they've dislodged the crossfire. They've got themselves a bomb plant. Surely they can play through a post plant, but they can't actually get rid of Walco from short. Walco gets a double, and then George stays alive for so long in water as well. I mean, every anchor staying alive for just long enough to get either a kill or set their teammate up for the trade as well. So I don't necessarily know what Wildcard can do when they can't find an untraded frag.
Yeah, it's getting really tough to buy a kill at this point right now for Wildcard. And I mean, that was one of the closest rounds I think we've seen in quite a while. I mean, we're at round 10 now. I can't even remember the last time it came down to like a 2v2 or something like that in a situation that Wildcard maybe could have had something. But now the confidence is flowing right now. And that's Slight now. He's going to be able to find that opener. That's a good opener because they haven't been successful in doing this. It's been EG that have been able to find these first opening duels.
Yeah, that feels like a rarity, and it honestly was offered up on a silver platter by Walco. Completely dry in a short duel, but when you are feeling confident and you're frankly up 9-0, you can make risky decisions like that. It could pay off in the long run, but with that B pick, Wildcard want to speed things up and potentially try to overwhelm George and Hex. Can they actually break through?
And George is playing a good position here. Hex is just going to have his right-hand side here. This is a good little bit of a crossfire, but he gets removed now. George, he needs to be able to find more than one, but it's only a one and done now. Putting it on a man advantage here for Wildcard. We have not been able to say that yet. Darty, oh, he had the right placement of his crosshair, but he looked at the wrong time. Bringing it down to the 2v2. Automatic now coming in from Monster. Junior going to be coming through Connector. Junior sitting with a full belt of utility right now. The molly going to be placed on towards Barrel. Nobody there. Automatic going to get that flash assist with him. He's still being so quiet, though. Time is ticking, and Junior's making a lot of noise here for Automatic to get something with room. And he needs to be able to find these kills. Is it one? It's not going to be two in Wildcard. They're going to get themselves their first round.
Yeah, just keeping it simple there. You get that opening 5v4 onto Walco. You realize that the B side is under defended. You don't waste around time for potentially an EG rotate to come through. You instantly execute, and it still gets a little dicey. Hex actually managing to get one, and so does George as well. But again, they find a way to actually trade successfully into the site, something that they've not been able to do throughout this half. And they find a way to at least break the deadlock of a goose egg on the board. They take an instant timeout, try to get Horvey on the mic, try to convert these next couple of rounds as well. We've seen the capability that they've had on that CT side. So if they can just get enough rounds to play with, perhaps there's still a route to get back into their opening map pick here.
Well, and like you said, I mean, getting rid of the goose egg is going to be a great thing too, because for anybody just tuning in, I mean, what we were talking about earlier on today is Wildcard did play for Forsaken on this map, and they lost 9-0. Like, they weren't able to get anything moving on the whole, or sorry, they weren't able to get a single round in the second half. So this for them is kind of like a small victory right now, because now they can at least go, look, we got a round on T side. It's only up from here. Brett going to go for short B control. Going to be able to make it through the smokes. Doesn't have to worry too much about that right now, but Automatic, again, able to find this opening duel, which I don't know how they're doing it, Paladin, but EG are just winning these opening exchanges every single time.
Yeah, it seemingly felt like it was given to him there. Luckily for Brett, he's been getting short control pretty much for free every round. And now, he tries to hold on to it, but Automatic duels ahead of the smoke and takes that part of the map off the table for Wildcard again. So they're not only going to have to retake that part of the map, they're going to have to try to brute force their way through Monster.
Oh, that
Great
flash
there from George to get into the barrels. But now he's mollied off. Now things get hot and heavy, but he stands and fights. There's Hex to chime in as well. A beautiful little crossfire there from the twosome on the B site. Junior hits leg slight, actually, and pulls him down to 16 HP. He's got to head for the hills here. And EG have locked themselves in for double digits here.
Yeah, tough moment right now for Wildcard. Again, Slight, if he can save this op, this could be great, but he's already getting pushed right now. Junior might be able to find him. Oh, Junior. Oh, yeah, it looks like Slight was kind of just giving it up. He realized he's a dead man walking, but 10-11 we go. We're going in the last round here for this first half. This is map number 1, but Wildcard is going to call their second timeout, and they want to kind of figure out what they want to do in this last round, and the money situation is just a bit of a blunder. Slight sitting at 4,300. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a scrappy purchase.
Yeah, another tack timeout being called by Wildcard, realizing that, look, guys, this half has pretty much run away from us. Let's see if we can try to scrounge something up at least. But as far as EG goes, it doesn't really seem like they're being tested whatsoever. I mean, these A players really have free reign to do whatever they want. Automatic has been given connector pretty much for free. I think he's died only once in that opening exchange. And that was to Pistols with 4 players on his doorstep. And on that B side of things, Hext and George have been clearing the field very, very easily. I don't necessarily know what the answer is for Wildcard here when they just can't seem to win any duels here, Laz.
Yeah, it's just the opening exchanges. I mean, they're going for EG pretty much every time. 9 times out of 10, it's just going their way.
Oh,
Junior with a little bit of a KZ blunder. He's not able to get himself out of there. Automatic, though. He's coming from the back. His teammate's going to be able to help him out. Brett's just ready for a nade. This is a tough situation right now for Brett. He's kind of in a bit of a rock and a hard place. Nades are coming in. Automatic doing what he does best. And now Freshie, he gets himself a little bit of an opener into the site, but there's not the bomb yet. It's finally going to get picked up from Slight. This is a bit of a slow-moving round we got going on here for Wildcard.
they do have the open B bomb site, and Slight has actually managed to make it through Monster Pipe unscathed as well. So a bomb plant will come in here for the final round of the half, 3v3. But a lot of fast flanks in play. Automatic is already in Monster Pipe. How aware is Slight here? Not at all. And George wins his duels as well. They try to aggress down into Graffiti, but George is so aware of that potential part of the map being taken. And we've gotten 11 rounds on the CT side of Overpass for Evil Geniuses, trying to lock themselves in quickly here on Overpass. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Evil Geniuses trying to close out a smashing on Overpass.
Welcome back. We're here for map number 1, the second half, and we got to see EG just putting up a statement in some sort here with 11-1 scoreline. We're going to see how things pan out here for the defense of Wildcard. Laz and Paladin to take you through it.
An absolute smashing here from Evil Geniuses, and that doesn't make things any easier. Cryptic gets shanked in the back by his teammate, and he's down to 39 HP out the rip. Early duel here for Junior and Freshie. Junior actually being given the P250, and it's just blanks being shot by both sides. And I actually really like this call. They're going to continue to duel here outside of outside of Fountain. And they were trying to potentially pincer in on him through Connector, but instead they're going to actually be coaxed into this B play. They get one, but how much more can they get?
Yeah, they're able to get themselves, and Hex is able to take down some players. Okay, Hex, he's able to find himself too with Automatic getting that secondary one there, so leaving it all just down to Freshie. And he was the player that was at Fountain. He's the only one that's been able to, find that opening duel so far, but now he's got a tall task ahead of him with a 1-on-3. No utility. He does have the armor with no kit. So this is about fragging out. This is about hitting every single shot. Shadow's going to give him away a little bit now. They know exactly where he is. He's just begging for one-on-one peaks, but EG ain't going to do that, and it's going to be a 12th gain pretty easily.
Map point here for Evil Geniuses, and it does really feel like the beginning of the end. I only necessarily feel like I've seen one good half of Counter-Strike from Wildcard, and it's very sad, Laz, because this team has so much potential and has shown so much potential in beating some top North American competition, but so far in these Yon shipping quals, I've not seen that same sort of Wildcard. And perhaps another mental reset from map 1 to map 2 might be what they need, but as far as this one's concerned, it just feels like it's pretty much over.
Yeah, it's starting to look like the book might be closed a little bit here. And I mean, Wildcard now, they're getting a little bit desperate. You can see Freshie, he's just able to push through now, close to T-spawn, just hunting, and Automatic, he's able to take him out in the back. Oh man, I just feel like we've said Automatic's name so much. Slight does get himself a nice little bit of a shot, and a little bit of a pulse coming in now from the defensive side here of Wildcard, and they've put themselves that one-man advantage just barely with 2 HP to brag about, but hey, it's something to work with. Slight trying his best to get that scout to work, but he's not landing any shots yet. Yeah,
you're exactly right. Spotting out George is so big there from Slight. Even though he doesn't take a shot, it potentially gives a chance back into this round, but it's just peppering from these Galils, and the long-range weaponry is too much to overcome, and it's just Darty in a 1v3 here, Laz. It doesn't feel like this is doable in any sense of the word. Double-digit kills not coming out from a single player on Wildcard. An absolute trouncing from the premier North American side. And it doesn't feel even like a competition. EG have just torn Wildcard to shreds here.
Yeah, to be honest, I was a little bit surprised about this because on paper, we were talking about, just before we started this, we were like, look, Wildcard actually, technically on paper, they're better than EG on this map.